it's me Prakriti Timisina. It's been so long without a video here. I have collected views of different people from different nations about the virus, lockdown and its impact. I would love to share it with you all guys. Hope you all enjoy the video.
Well, I hope I can wear a mask during this because I am still at work. Were lockdowns in the past important? Yeah, I think they were important, but I don't think people understood them as well as they do now. I think lockdowns are good, but you don't want to use them too much. In fact, they should be the last thing you use. It's important to wear a mask, and it's also important to not go travel and to stay away from other people as much as you can, but it's very hard. I would know. Should there be more lockdowns? I don't think so, because now we have a vaccine, but it's probably still a good idea. How should rich people help the poor? I think that it's a good thing for people to share their wealth, but also their time. I'm planning to join some volunteers to pass out food, hopefully starting next week. The next question, was it okay to to close schools? Yeah, I think that's a good thing to close schools because kids, as a teacher, I know kids are very good at spreading things, so it's not good if they're all together and then they spread things to each other and they also spread things to their teachers. And then when they go home and they spread things to their parents. So I know that kids, they are, sometimes they're not very good at washing their hands or making sure they cover their mouth when they cough. So even when there's not a big pandemic, they still spread disease. So it's really important, even especially now, that they stay at home as much as their parents need them to go to school. And the last question, what to tell people, people who are taking advantage of everything that's going on? Well, I know that in the United States, there's some people who have taken advantage of the money that the government sent out to people, and they try to take more for themselves, and that's not right. I think it's very important to make sure that money goes to the right people, and the only way to do that is to keep it very open and transparent. The other thing I've seen is people try to take advantage of problems with, businesses being closed, and I think that's also something that really needs to be looked into. But the biggest thing right now, really, is to wash your hands, is to stay separate, and wear a mask. Unless you're at home, I suppose. Bye.
Hi, my name is Susan. I was a volunteer in Pokhara last March, right before COVID, and we had to come home early, about 3 weeks, because of the evacuation from Kathmandu. COVID's real. It's taken its toll, certainly in our country, the United States. And I was asked if I think it's real. Yes, I think masks are very important. I think social distancing and washing your hands really could help. I wish everyone in the United States was doing that. I think we'd be in a lot better shape than we are right now. I'm very fortunate. I've been able to take care of myself. My husband and our family have all been healthy. But it's not without good hygiene and wearing our mask whenever we go out. We're not crazy about it. We do go into grocery stores. We have gone into other stores, but we're always careful. We limit our time inside and haven't really been able to see close family for a long time. Anyway, I hope this is helpful, and I hope that whoever's listening to this in any country feels the same way, that we need to get ahead of this pandemic and in our case, get back on the road again. Thank you.
So obviously this year, 2020, has been quite a difficult year for everyone. It's really thrown us all off guard, and it's just a year that we did not expect to be like this. All the plans that you had, that you thought you could achieve for the year, or your goals that you made for New Year's, is really just thrown out the window, start from scratch. And it's a year that we've all had to learn to adapt. Businesses, people individually, a lot of people struggling with mental illness during this time. Just individually and as a collective, it's been a really trying time for everyone. Coronavirus is obviously a very serious thing. For me, especially at the beginning, there was lots of doubt and speculation and, controversy around where it started, how it all happened, how it came to be, and everyone's questioning because we're humans. Humans love to question things. We want to know things. We're all nosy. So when something goes wrong, people like to blame, and we like to find answers and solutions, and this is us. To be naive is probably not the best thing when it comes to this, so fair enough for everyone. For me personally, I think things are what they are. It is what it is. And instead of complaining, as I said before, we have to adapt and find solutions, no matter how long it's going to take. And I guess that's what we've been doing. Each country has, individually been doing their own, what they need to do to achieve the goal of no coronavirus completely. So, of course, everyone was working together to find vaccine, still doing so. Some countries getting there. We're on our way. For me personally, I believe coronavirus came to us on Earth because we needed sort of a kick in the ass to slow down a little bit. I also feel like it's tested everyone in their own way. I think everyone has learnt something from this year, something that they probably wouldn't have learnt if they didn't stop and have the time to actually think about it. So for me, personally, this year was just to stop running away from everything, to stop and focus on myself and who I am and what I need from my life. And for me, it's taught me to slow down a whole lot, because when I was younger, I would rush into things. I was excitable. I would always just want to do so many things. I just thought there wasn't enough time. But this year has really given me time to step back and think, I do have time. I've got plenty of years ahead of me. I know something could happen to me tomorrow, but it's not about that. It's just about taking one thing at a time, step by step, slowing down a little bit, and that's okay. Everything's going to be okay. From what I've spoken with other people about, other people have learnt things. It could be something about a relationship, it could be something about friendships, it could be something about family, it could be something about themselves. I feel everyone has really learnt something this year which they wouldn't have otherwise. For me, to be completely honest, I've kind of switched off a lot from the news about coronavirus from the beginning. I remember at the beginning I switched off my TV for the first 3 months because I knew the stress that it was causing people. You could feel it on the street. It was quite intense. So for me, I kind of did ignorance is bliss thing, even though I know it's not a good thing to be naive.
Here is our Chloe sister. She has written, I think it's serious, especially in areas where lockdown measures are not realistic or possible, in areas of high population density and individuals and families living in poverty or homeless. It's certainly improved a lot here where I live in Australia and SW. I think most of the restrictions and lockdowns put in place have been necessary. I don't know about the lockdowns elsewhere. I think some places eased on restrictions and lockdown too early on and perhaps should have gone for longer. It's been hard for people financially across the globe. The way literally everything operates has had to change drastically in a lot of while. Here is our Tom brother. He has said that I think that the pandemic is real and it is serious, but perhaps not as serious as all the hype surrounding it, especially the political nightmare that is currently paralyzing the United States. Many people here say that it is all a lie perpetuated for political reasons and that it really should not be taken seriously. Our president has lived that belief, and his words and his actions are directly responsible for much confusion, and I believe he was arrogant and negligent in how he spoke about the virus and undermined the health experts' best advice to contain the issue. But the fact that so many of my international friends in France and Netherlands and Denmark, Nepal, China and Japan are all experiencing the same virus and the same lockdown suggests to me that President Trump and his followers are complete idiots and they are to blame for not taking the pandemic seriously. In my personal opinion, COVID-19 is not really as serious a virus as it has been said to be. Most people who contract it have very mild illness, but that does not mean it is not serious, as many people who do get it have serious complications. And the entire world needs to take pandemics very seriously because there have been other outbreaks of much more serious nature that could very easily create much havoc for the world. If we can't figure out how to deal with COVID-19, which is relatively mild disease, how in the world can we deal with something like Ebola or others which are horrendously painful and scary? If the US experienced an Ebola outbreak and reacted to it the way we reacted to COVID, it would have been a disaster. In my opinion, other European and Asian countries took the pandemic much more seriously and are far better off it. The United States of Americans are far too egotistical to believe that any foreign threat can do us any harm, and because of that arrogance, we have created a huge problem in our country and we cannot find a solution that everyone can agree on. I often wonder how my friends in Nepal are holding up because your country has a very different standard of living and a very different day-to-day life that requires you all to live out in public much more than Americans. We lead very cozy lives that are protected by walls and roofs, windows, doors, air conditioning, furnaces, automobiles, supermarkets with industrial packaging, all of which protects us from the outside world and give us a feeling of protection and invincibility that Nepal simply cannot even begin to compete with. Also, when Americans do get sick, we have state-of-the-art hospitals and medical experts who are there and ready to take care of us, and we are in a much better position to weather a serious medical threat. I sincerely hope that you and your family are doing well and that you are taking care of one another and your neighbors. Love to you all. Namaste. Okay, in context of Nepal, it's obviously a serious problem everywhere. People are self-healing themselves by using antibiotics and some Ayurvedics, and if the condition is serious, then only there may be some problem in having equipment if needed. But the lockdown in the beginning was so implemented, that's why the condition of Nepal at this virus is quite good. People are aware about the virus nowadays, so they are using masks, they are doing proper precautions, they are washing their hands frequently. Hope this situation gets normal and everybody gets used in their daily life back. Thanks for all brothers and sisters for giving time to give their views about the virus. Thank you all for listening to us, and please If you want to give some suggestion, you can comment in the box down below. Thanks for watching.